Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live 2021 GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
What's up, everybody? We're back at the GSL SuperTournament. We're halfway through our best of fives. But up next, this is a match. I have no idea exactly how this is going to look. SOS versus ByuN. I know it's going to look good. I do know that.
Oh,
but how the games are going to pan out, I'm
not
so
look
sure.
Good. It can't not look good, okay? ByuN is in absolute tip-top shape, top form. He's one of the best players in the world right now. SOS is coming off his worst year ever.
That's right.
But that being said, Katowice is right around the corner, okay? That's the biggest tournament. SOS always gets in shape at the end of the year as the big tournament comes up, right? So I actually think SOS is going to take this, even though ByuN is in ridiculously good shape right now.
ByuN is in such... we have DRG up after this, too, but I just want to point out both these guys who were like household names in StarCraft 2 fell off a little bit, or they had to do their military service. They took time off. And usually in RTS, we kind of say, all right, well, it was good having you. You're always welcome to try to compete. That's always exciting. But you never think they're going to be in the kind of form they were in the past. But ByuN and DRG, for that matter, are looking really good and really modern, by the way.
Yeah. 100% on that. So ByuN, like, he can kill everyone right now, that's for sure. But don't forget, he does have those wrist issues. They do come up from time to time and ruin his day.
I believe the last time we casted him, he actually had to pause.
Him versus Dark in last Super Tournament.
That's right. He paused twice, right?
Yeah, no, he had to get a warning and everything, and his wrists were falling apart. He was, like, crushing, and then he died.
Yeah, and then
it was really sad because it's like, oh, he looked better for sure.
Yeah.
So that was, like, the luckiest victory ever.
And I'll tell you what, to top that off, best of fives TVZ can be very, very long. We just had a pretty long, dramatic one, and that last TVZ series we had could have actually been much longer.
Well, I think with SOS in the game, the odds of it going very long are reduced.
I think you're probably right, but dude, a best of five in StarCraft can go on. It can go on and on and on and on. It can happen, okay? Like PvZ.
It can't happen.
It can happen. How dare you? You apologize to these good people.
I'm so sorry.
No, but seriously, look, PvZ, especially if we see this kind of slow play that Protoss like to do with Stargate, where it's a bit withdrawn, it could be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. What about PvT, though?
I know, as I said it. I give that look where I'm like, I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm saying the wrong thing.
Oh, my God. Okay. Lightshade going to be our first match.
You started talking about that Dark TVZ, and I'm like, that's right. And now we're talking about his wrist, and I'm like, but here's the thing, his TVZ is really long. And then I just got to this thing. As I was saying that, I gave Artos this look where I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. Get me out of this intro screen and into the game. SOS ByuN, game one. Let's go. And what's funny is after that, then I went to a PvZ with the Stargate play.
Yeah,
like, where have I gone?
Every matchup except what we were doing.
Where have I gone?
You start talking about how ZVZ is really good Viper Lurker like game. I'm like, what?
And I'm talking about Age of Empires 2. You're like, what are you doing, man?
ByuN.
So, again, if this is, though, in all seriousness, long, I don't know what condition ByuN's arms and wrists are, but generally speaking, these issues can be exacerbated the longer a series is, right? The pain can build up. I know from experience. But let's just keep that in the back of our minds here. You know, if this really does become a drawn-out macro game. And I think you are right. You know, SOS does occasionally make for short, explosive games, as does ByuN sometimes.
Yeah.
This could absolutely be a factor.
By the way, that is a huge winning record for ByuN, but that's a very old score as well. So.
That's old enough that I think
Legacy of the Void's been out for more than 5 years now.
Yeah. So. It's been out for half the time of StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
We've spent most of the modern era, pretty much all of it actually, in this version.
Yeah, most of StarCraft 2 has been Legacy of the Void. Okay, so an eBay block, which is kind of cool, but it's a low ground gateway, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yep.
We've definitely seen in the past some like full wall builds against Terran to just prevent scouting when there's, on certain maps. Like, I think Port Alexandria was the last one that we had that we saw that really often at. Here, it's not a full wall. But that's really annoying right there. You got to make a Zealot, you got to tech up. The thing is, these weird situations, anything strange that comes up, that's the wheelhouse of SOS.
That's the thing, is he seems to have the best intuition in all of StarCraft.
Yeah, he's the best, like, in strange situations because he gets into them more than anyone else. Like, base trades, for instance, I think is where you see it really shine.
Yeah.
He's the best base trader in the whole world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't think anyone would argue that. Like, when you get to a base trade situation, he is more creative and clever with it. Like, as observers, we do a pretty good job because we see everything that's going on, like coming up with ideas and stuff, and then he'll come up with something we never thought of, and it's like, holy crap, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's funny because I think a lot of, especially in Korea, RTS knowledge is very institutionalized, if that makes sense, because you have all these guys that have been, whether they're on teams now or not, there's been a lot of team work together, you know, for people to understand builds and come up with themes, and there's a lot of information sharing, and that means a lot of players get access to information just in a much easier level, right, as we're kind of using information as a currency to learn. But I do think SOS, excuse me, is really innovative in how he approaches RTS, because he seems to just sort of get it better than everybody else. And that's why those base trade situations, which usually are the hardest moments in StarCraft, because everything is completely
You can't
unique.
practice those, basically. So it's like kind of a lot of the most creative stuff comes out in base trades, where your economy dries up and, like, you're left with something random against something random.
Yeah, and you have to make a bunch of very important decisions very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Or you can completely lose control of the game. Innovation, excuse me, I keep saying Innovation. SOS, I'm going to text him, get me another coffee, man. I'm getting tired here. I'm like getting all over the place.
Hot 6, bro, we got a bunch of it right in front of us.
I think I might actually steal one of these.
Yeah, you should.
But SOS absolutely just clutches that.
Yeah. He does go for a pretty quick Oracle here, and he sees what's going on. It is an in-base command center into 3 barracks, right, with 2 tech labs. So that's like a lot of information that he just gained. ByuN does this from time to time. You don't see many Terrans do this type of 3 racks play, and it's going to give him a lot of units, but this, I feel like it makes what SOS has to do very, very, very clear.
Yeah, I agree.
You must get a lot of units and hold off the attack that's incoming. It's like, go up. I mean, he's getting Blink now, so I guess he thinks he can do it with Blink, which, I mean, he's SOS. I'll definitely believe that he can do that. But, you know, you see something like this, you might want to go, like, Blink into 2-base Colossus before you take your 3rd, right? You don't want to, like, taking a quick 3rd here would be the worst possible thing you could do. Okay, there's a quick 3rd. All right, well.
Yeah. I was in agreement with you. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
no.
Well, let's see. Let's see if there's you know, some kind of fine line he can draw here with how he handles this.
Yeah, let's see.
But look, Stim is done. This seems to be pretty straightforward, right? You've got a lot of Stim. You don't have really almost any units you can finesse with his Protoss.
Yeah, he's trying to take a way around the map that's hard to scout as well.
Well, we saw an Adept shade a second ago, but the fact that SOS isn't moving at all, after all this praise we gave him, I'm worried he's just going to get mowed down here.
Yeah.
At his 3rd base. Now, Blink is going to finish as this attack happens. Hold on. Okay, I thought he was going to go try to go under.
Let's see when he goes with the shields.
Yeah. Now, there's the Stim. The Marines can sort of filter their way through here. Stutter stepping forward, taking out...
he's got the shield battery, and the Blink is done.
The problem, though, is that with no medevac here, there's no way to pick up. And I got to say, actually, that was handled very well by SOS. Okay.
No, he killed
a nod to him there.
Well, the force field's on the high ground. You basically need your entire force to be fighting. Like, his force was stronger than SOS's, so SOS cut it in half while it came up the ramp. And the rest is history. So never mind. I guess the quick 3rd was brilliant.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly. He held it. And, of course, Terran, even though Marines are sort of expendable, you're giving up a lot of assets as far as mass later on. You can see that Protoss thought about blinking in there, but decided not to.
Be careful about that. Don't want to throw units away. The production of ByuN's still very high. All right, charge, Robo, Forge all in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, after holding that initial push with an opener like what ByuN has shown us here, this feels like such an easy finish for SOS, doesn't it?
Well, it looks like all you have to do is basically stop them from taking a third base of their own.
Macro up, get splash.
Yeah.
And what what's ByuN's choices here?
Well, it doesn't seem like he has that many, to be honest. I think this is really the I think this is the way to go here for SOS, and it looks like he's going to be doing that.
Well, throwing up some gates. Does have that Colossus tech about to finish. Charge on the way. That's a scary army right there.
So Terran's going to come across the map, but I mean, obviously this is no secret here for SOS. Is he going to have enough damage? There are medevacs, which were not in the first attack, of course, but this means if it's mismanaged, he can get away with at least some of the units. That's more units than there are for medevacs to carry, though, so I guess we got to wait and see.
A lot of Marauders in here.
Yeah.
I don't believe any Robo units are out yet, so maybe it's the follow-up punch that actually can do it. Right, here comes ByuN up the other way. So he gets onto the high ground. That's really important. Those are fresh sentries. At least 2 of them are.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly how many force fields were on the third one, but those 2 are low.
There's like some Zealots moving out on the map here as well.
Huh.
I thought for a second
like
he might try to flank with this, but it looks like it wants to come around and counterattack.
Yeah.
By the way, there's no third base here for Terran. Does Terran want to pull SCVs?
Hey, Tasteless, this feels to me like SOS is trying to win too hard. Like, I feel like holding this attack is winning, yet he's doing a counterattack at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think this is almost a win more move where you don't need to actually, you just need to win. You don't need to win more.
Okay, throws down some force fields. He's just buying time. Has a Colossus out now.
Yeah, the Colossus is going to be over here soon. There is some batteries here to allow for some recharging here. Now these SCVs are going to get shredded. The Colossus should be able to come up here. I mean, I don't see that many Tier 1 units right now for Protoss, but the number of force fields does seem to be enough of a threat.
His overcharge is going to be used up. His force fields are gone, and there's a lot of Marauders left over here, Tasteless.
Yeah, there are a lot of Marauders, but there are also Zealots warping in here that can tank some of the shots. I don't know. I've got some questions about this game overall here. I mean, it seems like the Zealots could have been used to hold this back. Terran's expanding while taking a very late third as well, which doesn't seem to be that good either. I almost feel like Terran should have just pulled SCVs and not taken a CC if he wanted to really try to win with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you. I don't like the strategy choice in general from ByuN, and you almost never see this type of strategy choice, the 3 racks, right?
It seems like an older way to play the game, honestly.
Oh, it certainly is.
Theory-wise, even.
And even back then, it wasn't doing that well, but
yeah.
I feel like SOS gave him a couple opportunities where, you know, it was like, oh, maybe this is a good thing for ByuN, right? The quick third, and then a bunch of Zealots leaving his army, but SOS is just holding on. Like, kudos to him, right? These look like situations where ByuN's build should be favored, yet it's turning out not to be the case.
Okay. The Zealots are coming through here again. This counterattack is really straining ByuN. I feel like ByuN is really almost finished here. He has an army that's a threat. His economy, though, is in shambles.
Oh.
Really good kiting there. And will he be able to get out? Oh!
Yeah, picking off a huge chunk of that army.
But I think from here, you just defend the counterattack. 14 SCVs were killed. Keep in mind there were more SCVs killed with the Zealot counter. But maybe Protoss lost enough that this army is flimsy enough. Maybe it dies to this counterattack.
Maybe. Holding my breath right now. Right, some more Zealots going for the harassment.
Those just right-clicked over there.
Oh,
nice control.
How did that thing live?
Every volley from the Colossus is huge, so keeping that other Colossus alive, recharging its shields is key.
Overcharge, just brutal against ByuN right there.
Oh, yeah. Nice tagging there of the mine. He's going to pick up and I guess try to drop somewhere else, but I think this can get caught.
I think this is ByuN's last-ditch effort.
Yeah, he's going to try, but there's just too much meaty Protoss army to come through.
I think that's it. I think we'll see GG. Well, that being said, it is ByuN. Yeah, you're right. And he does
They did a 23andMe, and he has a lot of Marine King DNA in it. And so...
yeah. It's like, oh, your heritage is South Korean. That lines up with Marine King.
No, it's a special graph. This is Marine King. He's like, oh, that's why I'm so like this.
Yeah.
Okay. they have a push coming here. And again, I feel like ByuN is so close to just being out here in game 1, but let's see if he can't maybe control his way through this. That's a lot of splash with the 2 Archons and the Colossi here.
The tanking of the Archons just so tough to kite through. Zealots with that little flank. GG. All right. So SOS takes game 1, and it was honestly very convincing. It felt like ByuN's build should have been pretty reasonable against SOS. I think walking up the ramp right there turned out to be a very bad call from ByuN, and then even with SOS's counterattack of the Zealots, he was able to hold on, so I think he judged his lead just exactly accurately.
I think ByuN played that style well, but that style itself worries me a little bit. Now, we both thought that little initial push was going to be probably pretty strong. It seemed like, oh, a third base might be very unmanageable, and then that attack came, and it was clearly able to be held perfectly.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
If he goes up the other ramp, maybe, like if he gets to the high ground.
I felt like that only works if you're already at the Nexus doing damage. Stim Marines can kill a Nexus very quickly. Stalker Sentries are not fast units. Maybe we would have had a different game. Pillars of Gold, by the way, I took the hot 6. The caffeine's kicked in again here.
There you go.
I was falling off for a minute there. I'm back.
Which one did you choose?
It's the punch flavor one.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
It is a good flavor.
Team NV, SOS. ByuN.
All right, we'll see what ByuN does strategically this game. I definitely would like him to shoot up the tech tree a bit quicker.
Yeah, it does remind me of a lot of his older games.
Yeah.
Of like pretty textbook pressure ideas.
Yeah.
Into a pretty follow-up push, but
he's a barracks man at heart.
Yeah, he's a barracks boy.
Yeah.
Take off his shirt, big barracks tattooed on his back. No, but look, man, I feel like the ideas he was working with, it just didn't seem like that was going to work. Late third base, failed early pressure on the Protoss's third into late generic Marine Marauder medevac roaming against a Protoss that has soon splash, but already force fields to buy time.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper, I think it doesn't look good either.
SOS getting his probe up there. Going for the Nexus after the core. ByuN just check on that. No rush to block the Nexus this game. Reactor right away for ByuN as he puts down his command.
Now, this game, I wonder if SOS is also going to do some of the same themes we saw there. Quick third base with just enough to kind of hold everything as long as you execute your control right.
Depth on the way. Get some scouting. We got to wait a little bit and see what the tech route is going to be. Hey, second barracks for ByuN. Third barracks for ByuN. Okay, he likes the style.
Barracks boy. Now, let's talk about that last game for a little bit more here, because there was some other stuff that I was a little bit bugged by. I know, obviously, if you're making a third command center, you don't pull your SCVs, but it almost seems like what ByuN was doing was never going to work if the early pressure failed. The second pressure off the late third base never works. I almost wonder if it's better.
Imagine if he hadn't sent his Zealots out. It would have been a massacre.
Yeah. No, that's what's funny about it. Is like SOS is playing really smart, but he was almost making it too complicated. ByuN played, I think, one of the most straightforward, simple StarCraft 2 games we've seen in a while, honestly.
Yeah. It was definitely straightforward.
I wonder if it would have worked, though, had he not made a third CC, made an extra barracks or two, and then pulled SCVs.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that actually works.
When your opponent has oracles out and they're actually scouting what you're doing like,
that's true.
It becomes easier to counter. Maybe the SCV pull is sudden and you can get something done, though. Oh, look at this. DT tech. Oh, this is going to be interesting, Tasteless. So he's not going to have a super fast scout of this, but he's going to have a prism flyover. Now, when you go for a DT tech early on, you're very light on units. One of the ways that people try to play with that would be to make like an extra mortal, because it's like, okay, you spent a lot of money getting these DTs out. You have no real stability to your army, right? Because you spent so much money getting the tech and then making the DTs instead of other gateway units.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, your army just doesn't have that power to it, which might play into what ByuN is doing here, where ByuN is just going to have a lot of power. So if he shuts down the DT drop and does his counterattack, that's pretty scary for
That's
SOS.
true. I mean, one of the things about DTs in general, at least when they're used in the early part of a game, is they can do a ton of damage, even fatal damage, but they don't allow you to bounce back if you don't control them right. And so we've got that push coming out here. I feel like I only see ByuN play like this, by the way, this style.
Yes, no one else really does
Nobody
this.
else is, yeah. So you can see right now SOS is thinking at most there's going to be a drop here.
Yeah, so this is a little bit scary now. The first DT drop comes out and gets 6 kills. Don't forget you can make DTs at home as well, but oh man, he's going to lose the pile on this.
Oh,
this
boy.
looks good.
Okay, that means there's only one gateway in this, so only one DT can. That's it.
That's it.
GG.
Catches him that time.
Yeah.
Now, does ByuN do that build a 3rd time in a row?
He's not even like catching you with your pants down. It's like suddenly you've never had any pants at all. You don't own pants.
No.
You have no pants and you're opening your pants drawer and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you don't live somewhere warm either.
Yeah.
You live somewhere cold.
Yeah, and you're outside your house.
Yeah.
Around people. So it's
And I
even
know
better.
that you're Canadian and you think it's not cold, but it is.
It's not cold. I'm from Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that. So,
all right.
I think
1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
Some very different, very strange games. But more coming out of ByuN than SOS in a lot of ways, which is the opposite. Look at you. You walking advertisement.
How's that for product placement?
The king.
We've had a
punch.
Yeah, there it is. The king. That's for King Tasteless. Casting from his throne. Yeah, we've had a long game here today. So ByuN has requested a break here. That's not surprising. He's had some wrist problems. In fact, I was just notified by the PD. Wrist is flaring up a little bit.
Yeah, that's rough,
So-
man. If you have to take a break after 2 games and one was not even quick.
This has been a short 2 games as well.
Yeah.
That was not representative of what most of our games have looked like. So, again, man, a best of 5 can take a long time, especially if you're somebody with wrist pain. Are we going to have the same thing happen here like we had in the past? Where
Maybe you
he's
play
playing?
this style because your wrists hurt. What do you think about that?
I actually think it's smart.
Yeah,
I
you
think
play
you're
a style
handsome.
where you actually bring the game to a head very quickly. That's reasonable. When you're ByuN's level, you can still win a lot like that.
Yeah. I'm worried now for ByuN.
Me too.
But look at SOS. No feeling at all.
Oh, none.
Oh, no, it's smiling. It almost looked like he grabbed something that was off of the camera for a second, because that's actually the monitor on the right there. He like reached out and grabbed something off our desk. I'm like, whoa! How did
you
he do
reach
that?
and grab the souls of the viewers.
All right, guys, game 3. Let's go.
Team NV, SOS. ByuN.
StarCraft music is so damn good.
It is good. Is there actually singers there?
Yeah.
What are they saying? No, cut. I said,
Those aren't the words.
that's not the words. We need the lyrics to this song at the bottom with a little bouncy ball that we can all sing along with it.
That would be amazing. Yeah, the karaoke type thing.
All right, now everybody sing
Everyone in the
along.
room goes. Yeah, you'd go to the eGamer event and you'd be like, wow, that's a cult.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the cultiest gamer festival I've ever been to. Yeah. Well, let's go back to my place and wear our matching shoes and suicide behind a comment or whatever Heaven's Gate did. Now, we've seen ByuN do some pretty, like, two-base aggro-y stuff. I don't think that's going to stop. By the way, there is a additional meta going on here because everybody knows that ByuN has wrist problems, and everybody knows when he pauses, it's because of his wrist problems. I'm sOs.
Well, that's where ByuN's metagaming comes in. And he knows that people know this, so when he doesn't have wrist problems, he pauses so that they do strategies that draw the game out.
Exactly. What I do is actually, I'll lie about my wrist problems entirely. Yeah. So that people are starting to like try to play macro games.
Yeah, you did that for years.
I'm so good at that. I'm so good at that.
Yeah, just like your iBuy Power PC, man. It's just like Tasteless is built on a kingdom of lies.
That's right, man. No, but I do feel for ByuN in this situation for real. It's scary because like the more you do it, the more pain and the more inflammation it can do and build up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The thing that you got to do is take a lot of time off and do stretches. But honestly, that's going to be tricky for him in Super Tournament. This is like a back-to-back event. I mean, assuming he advances, he gets to take a day off, but it's right back to it on the third day. You know,
when your wrists are consistently hurting in every match, that has to feel like that's like a countdown worse than the military almost.
Oh yeah,
right. Like, because eventually the military will just take you, and that's it. And it's like, oh, sorry, ByuN, you have to go to the military.
Right.
Which he already did. He already finished. But this is like, oh, man, you could have kind of decide for yourself and everything. And, like, we saw him lose last Super Tournament because of his wrists.
Yeah.
And no one disagrees with
literally
that.
because of his wrists.
Yeah, he was up 2-0. He was smashing dark, and then it was just, like, too much pain, and that was it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about strategically what he's done this time. So he set up with the first two games with 3 barracks in main base. This time he's gone 1 barracks into a 3rd command. So this is like, he's playing his image so well here.
Well, it's smart. This is an idea that you specifically can only use in tournaments where you're playing, you know, several games in a row. It's called starting build order ambiguity, right? Like from the Protoss's perspective, it looks like the same thing's happening, but each time something different comes from it.
Yeah. Well, especially when you set him up by doing the same thing twice, and then it's just like, okay, is this just what he does? Yeah. And then you do something that looks exactly like it. So they're like, I mean, I think it's that.
This feels exactly like our last game.
Like, he has no intel as of yet as to what it is. But, you know, when he does figure it out, it's like, oh, damn, his 3rd command center is much quicker than my 3rd Nexus, for instance.
So, with the 3rd base taken quickly, ByuN will have, unless it's punished somehow, he'll have a much healthier attack here later on. And that's the big thing we want to watch for. ByuN's had a couple iffy attacks early on. Obviously in the last game, a part of sOs losing the last game was the decision to go DT tech. And the fact that ByuN pushed in there, and sOs didn't realize what was happening until they were right in his base.
Yeah.
Then killing the pylon, that was the fatal blow.
Yeah, yeah. He had just said nothing. It's like, oh, what? Maybe you can work on 1 DT, but if he has a scan, the game ends. It's like, well, he already knew. There was nothing left there. All right, Colossus Tech coming up. Blink is already done for sOs, as well as his 3rd Nexus. Of course, the 3rd command center has been done for a bit, and he has been producing some SCVs. He already has his orbital, but hasn't landed it as of yet. He kills the probe that's over there. We'll see when he goes to land. Seems like he's definitely taking his time, maybe hiding what he's doing, but also it's very safe.
This is going to end where it started. Stalkers getting the revenge on their friend Stalker, for their friend Stalker that was beaten up by those Marines earlier on. Stim is now done. If he goes and blinks up in there. This is, by the way, an older idea that we're seeing tooled around with.
All right, he sees 3rd command center now.
Yeah. And so now he knows there's no immediate threat of a push. The best he can go for now is a control game.
Yeah. ByuN going right up to 5 Raxes.
We have 2 Forges coming down here. I like this a lot.
Well, he's got to get ready for that macro game. I wonder if there's any chance ByuN will do something crazy like an SCV pull. It doesn't feel like the timing exists with these 2 barracks coming up. Like, I guess if he waits 2 rounds of Marines, maybe he can hit before the 2nd Colossus, but that would be, like, the best case.
Taking some more damage on these Stalkers. They can blink away, though. They're pretty much in a safer area now. Yeah, and here are 2 Forges. No doubt we're going to have 1-1 there. There it is, getting chronoed out. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of an SCV timing. I'm not totally sure.
I don't think that there is. It doesn't feel like it. We'll see what ByuN's plan is here. He started +1 armor, so it makes me kind of believe that he's going to play a bigger game. He has 2 medevacs actually flying out way to the side. Looks like those are going to go for the main base. The rest of his forces headed towards the 3rd.
Okay, pressure over here at the bottom. This is going to be an attack in 2 different locations. Can SOS have the balancing act that's correct to hold this? Oh, actually, he might just go for a flank.
Wow, that would work out perfectly.
Yeah, that would actually be really good. Oh, this is so smart if he can actually get this building.
Oh my god, is he going to get the Robo?
Okay.
He starts healing it, but at the last second only loses a handful of units.
That's
like
pretty
6
crazy.
Marines to kill the Robo.
It's fortunate that the medevac that had everything in it actually got away, because that could have completely backfired. He's going to heal up now in the green. Now with 2 Colossi, that's enough to melt a Marine majority army, which is what this is, as you can see here.
He's actually adding 2 Robos behind to catch up to where he wants to be Robo-wise.
Oh. Okay, an attack here in the middle. He's got to be careful. You cannot eat too many Colossi shots. So back up, heal up. Now the Observer was killed, so he might be able to pick up and maybe even dive in the main on top of the Forges.
Oh yeah, maybe.
But there's also this big Zealot counterattack that's coming here. Oh, good hallucinated Phoenix.
He does have 5 racks production. He's reinforcing, though. So if he does not let a couple rounds stay at home, those Zealots are going to do huge damage.
Yeah.
You can't just defend those with, like,
Ooh, good
5
pull
racks
away.
only with 1 round.
Another Robo finishes over here. Just too many batteries. Oh, man, that's a lot of damage on those SCVs. An attack over here.
It
looks
picks
like
off a Colossus with it.
Depending on the targeting, I don't think there's any way that he can actually kill that Nexus. Oh, wow. Big attack over here. Takes out the Robo, takes out the cannon.
Wow, look at that. Taking down the shield batteries as well. The overcharged one. And
Oh
SOS
my
going to
God.
lose everything here.
ByuN just slamming his way through this fight. It looked for a while like SOS was in control of this game, especially with the Zealot counterplay, but now the tech has been reset.
Just some great maneuvering from ByuN. He did take a bunch of counter damage, but the amount of damage he just dealt there felt very, very good. Well, you know, I guess he didn't actually get rid of either Nexus, though. The probe count's still reasonable. The attack is not done. There's no splash damage. Yeah.
GG. Damn, ByuN.
That was really nice. That was really nice.
All right, one thing we've been consistent with in GSL is dubstep occasionally does appear here. I gotta say, ByuN looked really sick in that game. It actually seemed like he was losing that game for a while in those fights. And then...
the early ones didn't really go his way, yeah.
Yeah, and then the fact that the Colossi were actually split up, let's keep in mind, I think the first winning move was when he killed the Robo.
Yeah, that was a really important moment.
Only 2 Colossus then. Then he had this great attack in the lower center, where he then killed 1 Colossus. The other Colossus with the Stalkers tried to come in here and help. He killed those off. And he also killed the second Robo in that process, too. So, from there, he could just flood him with infantry, and it's an easy win.
The army splitting not quite good enough for SOS.
Yeah. We're having some very short tactical games here. On Game 4, it will be on the map Oxide, guys. ByuN versus SOS, our 3rd best of 5 in Day 1 of the GSL Super Tournament.
Game start. Team NV, SOS. ByuN.
So, let's see if SOS, what does he have up his sleeve here now that he's on elimination point?
He's been a little bit milquetoast for the SOS I'm used to seeing.
Nothing crazy enough for you? Yeah, it's pretty standard.
I mean, it looks very ordinary.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not that he is not allowed to do that, but I mean, anybody who's watched enough SOS games is expecting
something brilliant.
Not even just that, more variety, you know.
Okay.
A wider range. But he hasn't done that at all here. And it does seem like it's almost ByuN that's getting to experiment with the opponent here.
Maybe he just has SOS's number.
Could be. You know, SOS, again, he's been falling off, man. He had a very bad year last year.
It's really sad. Yeah, it's his worst year ever.
Yeah.
What he just had.
This is the 2-time world champion.
Yeah. I am Katowice champion.
Yeah. I mean, he's
GSL finalist multiple times. Against this guy even.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's one of the most accomplished players in the world, actually.
Yeah, and one of the most famous RTS players of all time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he just, like, isn't quite... I don't know. It just doesn't even look like it's the same player playing. You know what I mean? Like, if you covered up these ideas, would you guess that's SOS? I wouldn't. ByuN
yeah,
for sure.
No,
ByuN looks exactly like ByuN.
Oh, yeah. ByuN would be an easy guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's nothing about the play makes me think it's SOS so far.
I guess the DT drops in game 2, sort of, but that ended before it even started.
Yeah.
But ByuN tactically in that last game took out a Protoss that seemed like the Protoss probably was going to live a long time. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it felt like he had enough that he wasn't going to go down.
Yeah.
Another triple command build here from ByuN.
I think at this point in time, ByuN's probably feeling pretty confident.
I think so.
Yeah.
But when SOS figures this out, because he's actually doing a very similar build to the last game so far, but when he figures out that it's the triple command again, at least he has the last game to fall back on and be like, okay, what went wrong? Let's fix those things this game. Oh, this could be a DT drop again. You have the Robo coming up.
Yeah, he never really got to try to execute that strategy. By the way, a DT drop would actually probably work out much better this time around.
It might. Like, he'd have time to recover if it didn't work out all the way, but obviously that would be a huge advantage. Okay, it's actually Blink.
Wow, okay. Blink is also fine. This looks like he could do the pressure build then, with the Stalkers on the outside.
Oh,
keeping
like
the third
4-gate, do you think? Or
yeah, or 3-gate even.
Yeah.
But basically, you keep the pressure on them so that they can't just land the third base and take control of the map, and from there you just take another base of your own, and if they overextend, you punish.
It is the 4-gate. So 4-gate Prism, Blink Stalker.
So 4-gate is intended to actually put on a lot more pressure.
Yeah, you can kill with this one, especially if you're parting.
This dominated 3 years ago. Like, there were so many Protosses doing this.
And don't forget, like, this is when Parting had his first sick GSL run back, he was using this build a lot.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of funny because we saw other Protosses try to do it and none of them could actually execute it well enough.
Yeah, it wasn't just an idea. You had to be able to play it perfectly.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of hard decisions about where to go, and you have to have really top-tier micro. So it'll be interesting to see if SOS can pull this off. Because we definitely saw some other great players. I want to say Trap tried and didn't quite do it, and
Trap was tooling around with it.
Yeah,
everyone. I think we saw Stats mess with it a couple times.
So.
I think his was more the 3-gate though.
Yeah, that's more of a pressure containment type thing rather than a let's go kill.
So the observer is here to confirm exactly what's going on, but also to give the opportunity to blink in, and it's been picked off.
Ooh.
You got to be careful not to overextend with that. The War Prism can also be an alternative as far as like giving you vision on the high ground, but the observer is a little bit better. So let's see what we have here. Keep in mind there's no real vulnerable spots that could like a tech lab exposed that could be killed off. This is so funny because you're ready for an attack over here at the main. The entrance to the natural's neglected.
Absolutely.
That is funny.
And look at that, already picking off a lot. Getting that bunker already is huge. He's killed 6 SCVs on top of it. Continuing to micro back.
Not a single Stalker's been killed here. So the damage is really starting to happen. And there's going to be Warpins behind this. The Warp Prism picks up and moves away. He could always, if he wants to, blink back into the main. Now Stim is 10 seconds from being done, but that might not be enough to save Terran here.
Yeah, this is still very rough. He has got a lot of Stalkers right there. He's going to be able to power down even the bunker very quickly.
Yeah, the bunker is gone before it can even really be part of this game.
And now ByuN has stimmed and does not have medevacs.
Yeah,
so
and that's the thing. Every stim is permanent damage.
Yeah, for right now it really is. And look at this. He goes right up and starts fighting. That's the second stim so far. That's like 2 stalker hits to every unit.
Yeah. Then he backs
Even
up.
more to the Marauders.
Stim is wearing off. There are more stalkers than I think ByuN can handle in this game. And I think SOS may end up winning.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that was sick.
Yeah, very quick one
There
right
he
there.
is. SOS is back. Our Batman villain is back.
Good enough execution. He caught ByuN doing kind of a greedy build. You know, it's really tough. If they hit you with Blink Stalkers before you have medevacs,
Right.
I mean, you stim, they run away, and then it's like, well, you're going to have to stim again. And that's already like half your health gone. Already. What?
Yeah.
How do you stop that?
It was really impressive because we were talking so much about how they want to try to go on the main. I was even mentioning, Tech Lab's not even close to the place where the stalkers can blink in, so he can't snipe stim. And then SOS says, watch this. Goes right to the entrance, the place that seems like you should never be attacking there because usually there's a lot of units there. There's a bunker. He saw the weakness. He dove in, killed the bunker, and from there, even when stim was done, when a stim would come, he'd blink away with everything. No medevacs. That's permanent damage on the units. One thing about ByuN as well is that he likes to get stim way before he has medevacs out. There's a lot of builds he tools with.
That's true.
That's true. He's got stim. He knows how to use it most of the time, but SOS exploited it.
I like that. He knows how to use the stim.
ByuN asked for a break again, I believe.
Yeah, you got to kind of expect that right now. Okay, so we're 2-2.
Yeah.
The games have been very
short.
Yeah, short,
punchy,
decisive. You know, the build orders have had a bit of variety to them.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get to here is I don't know who's going to take it. It
I
feels
have
impossible
no idea
to predict.
It's very hard to call. SOS is now beginning to incorporate some more kind of unique, eccentric play here. Yeah, that one definitely seemed to be one that punished the way that ByuN's been approaching this. ByuN going for that third command center, second time in a row, did not have enough material to really fight a 4-gate stalker pressure play.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the first 2 games he did the 3 racks.
Yep.
Second 2 games he did the command center in main base, which looks like the 3 racks. Where do you go as ByuN? Do you rush a Widowmine drop now? Really throw
Every
him
Terra
off?
knows that's exactly how you lose, is Widowmines in your worker line. Artosis, you say the map name. Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. Juggernaut. Let's have our final game with these 2 players. I don't know who's going to advance. It seems like a very even series. Guys, Game 5 is loaded up. Let's go.
Game starts. Team NV, SOS. ByuN.
Good.
All right. Very excited to see what ByuN's opening choice is. With SOS, it's like, yeah, I mean, he has a pretty big range, and he's willing to do anything. With ByuN, though, we're like seeing these kind of patterns emerge, right? He's definitely planned the series. There's a reason why he led with 2 3 racks plays.
Yep.
And then went into 2 command center, third command center plays. But what does a game 5 look like after those builds? Because I don't think you do another third command in main. It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't feel like it computes. And
Did you
even
see
the
how I
3
reacted to that? I was like, no.
Yeah,
You're crazy,
it was a
Artosis.
visceral. It was disgust, is what it was. Disgust is a very useful emotion.
It is.
It really
Without
is.
disgust,
You know,
it would be.
Disgust is like created. It's like a protects humans.
Did you listen to a podcast on this just recently?
No, I didn't.
There was literally just a pod. I think it's Freakonomics. They just did I was about to be like,
oh, about disgust.
Yeah, it was literally about disgust. I thought.
Oh, yeah, no.
I was gonna. All right, never mind.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you feel disgust when you like see something that like could poison you, or something bad food. That type of thing will give you disgust.
Yeah, gateways in your main.
Yeah, gateways in your main.
Another thing
that's
causes
disgust.
Yeah,
because it poses mortal danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's It's fun having these guys fight, man. It's like two players that are so iconic, but with such unique play styles. You can put them together, and you know you're going to have some very cool games.
Yeah, the games have been interesting.
But
so
I
far.
honestly don't know who takes this series. I'm going back and forth. Oh, look at you, double barracks, man.
Well, if he's going double, he's probably going triple.
Wow.
Right?
I think so.
Or it could be like a 2-0.
There it is.
There it is, triple barracks. Okay, this is really not what I expected, man. Really not what I expected. Huh. Well, I guess we'll see how it goes. ByuN is like such an exciting player. I've never been a huge fan of the strategies he chooses. It's how he executes them that's fun.
Well, he makes it work.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I look at this and say, no, man, you need a starport and
yeah.
you need to get other upgrades.
Yeah.
You know, a medevac will allow you to fight in places they might not be ready for.
Yeah.
Things move very fast in StarCraft. He's like, nah.
Give me the power.
Yeah.
I need a lot of units to micro.
Yeah. He's like, I can bench a lot. By the way, guys, a little improvement they made here at the show. The loading, well, not the loading screen. The screen before the show starts used to just be a picture. Now it's a shot of our studio. You see people moving around.
Yeah, that's super cool. You see, like, the pro gamers setting up, so if you tune in early,
Yeah.
it's a really cool, I think it's a great idea. I don't know if we'll do it every season, but
I hope we do. We were thinking about for the next Super Tournament, it's just footage of us lifting weights like we do right before we go on camera.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like our toes is just doing bench.
yeah. It's like I'm benching the bar, and you're like, whoa!
Yeah.
And then I'm like, give me another bar, and then I have 2 bars that I'm
Yeah.
benching. It's like, whoa, he's crazy!
The whole time I'm just doing battle ropes. Damn, he sees everything.
Yeah, that's a big scout right there.
What's up now, Barracks man?
Okay, so this is very, very, very like Game 1, except there isn't a star game, right?
Right.
He's going to have Blink by the time the attack gets there. I guess let's just see how ByuN wants to do it, because last time he got force fielded and just kind of SOS held it straight up with basic micro when he was coming up the ramp.
Run!
See, he even is going to lose that Adept.
Yep.
He's even going to lose that Adept.
Oh!
Are you
Not
kidding
today,
me?
Artosis.
No, not today, I guess. Finishes off that Marine. I love it.
So, I guess the big question is, where is Terran going to attack, and can Protoss actually block it, kill it, maybe?
Well, it's important that he gets up a ramp without being ruined.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, you know, with Stim and no medevacs, you're doing damage to your units. They're stronger for a little bit because the damage output's higher, but you're not going to have a lot to work with.
Oh,
over
man.
time.
He comes in from an angle he does not suspect.
Take that, battery. Oh my god, he's just diving right on top.
Well, that overcharge is doing all right. He targets that down, which was quite smart.
I don't think this is enough. I think you could just kind of back away with the Stalkers, and over time, this is just going to get melted.
And ByuN actually just gave the little head-to-the-side shake of disappointment.
Yeah.
But he came in, like, basically undetected. So how could that have actually gone better?
It makes me wonder if this is a completely obsolete way to play. Like, when you see it held like that, you know, we were talking about, okay, can he get the force fields up? That buys you time. He actually got through there, and there was just enough Stalkers that he sort of moved away.
Yeah.
And then we saw that run out pretty quickly. Terran infantry are not good in fights if they're not getting healed.
Yeah, that is true.
And he's going to come out again. We've seen this from ByuN. This style, it is old, though. It is anachronistic.
This one's going to be a little bit scarier, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, right now, SOS is trying to tech. So how many... Oh, he's actually just going to go for a drop. Okay, that's cool.
This can go one of two ways. You know, this can be shot down, and ByuN's going to be with even less units, or it might do an unrecoverable amount of damage.
Oh, there's a cannon up here, which means he's in trouble. SOS, that is.
Yep. Cannon. Stalker's coming back, but I think that he can actually... maybe he can't fight this quite.
Don't forget there's another group of units outside.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to come at the mouth of this base.
Oh, the Colossus pops out exactly as he gets up there.
It was like a jump scare.
Yeah. It's pretty much what it is for Terran. He's like, oh, I can maybe fight these few gateway units. Then the Colossus pops out. He's like, oh, no. Not at all.
So +1's about to finish. SOS seems to be untouchable for the time being.
This is a funny little fight. You like blocking Reapers, huh? How do you like this?
Okay, Gateway's now gone.
What? What? What?
Really? Is this gonna work? I actually forgot to keep casting
that was
when I was watching. That my jaw was
I was
dropped.
like, there's no way he does this.
Yeah.
It's right in his face.
Well, the Stalkers are all gone.
Yeah, well, almost.
Almost.
Slow Zealot's coming up for the revenge.
He's gonna pick up and back out. The third base is about, oh, actually halfway finished here.
Huh.
Very late third base from ByuN.
Well, he has a decent amount more army supply.
Okay,
oh my
nice
God.
pickups there.
Oh, he
sees it. Is he ready though? I mean, it's not quite enough Stalkers to really shoot this down.
He has Zealots under it though, so it's like even if you don't shoot it down, they just shred anything that comes out.
ByuN is looking for an opening. It doesn't seem like SOS is going to give it to him.
Yeah, especially considering he keeps flying over observers.
Yeah.
There's actually a shadow on ByuN's face right now that makes him look like he has a black eye. Got that from SOS's game.
Yeah. So we're seeing ByuN continue to try to build up some kind of a position where he can actually come in and do the damage. But honestly, SOS has swatted down every attack with ease.
ByuN even had some cool moments. And, you know, his CV count is pretty good. He's got his third base up. He's continuing upgrades. But SOS has double forge, DTs, going blink for DTs. Fourth Nexus. It does seem very good for SOS. Oh, man. That's bad news.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, God.
Big attack coming in here now. Some force fields not really blocking that out so much. Again, though, 3 Colossi is a real threat, especially when the Marines are in the front like this. A big warp in here in the main. I don't see very much to stop this.
Look at this. He's fighting with a few SCVs there, just running around. You almost see the look on his face. DT's in here as well.
Yeah, you know, SOS played his hand very well. He was patient. He defended. And now there's Warpins here doing so much damage. I mean, 30 SCVs killed, and you have to imagine a push from Protoss is inevitable.
Well, push or no push, like SOS is in a pretty darn good spot.
Oh, I think there's definitely.
Did we miss him killing the 4th Nexus?
Well, there was a lot happening back
There's no 4th Nexus now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yundini over here made that Nexus disappear.
Well, it's reappearing now at the top left. But, you know, we know how this magic show works. That's not the same Nexus.
It's mirrors.
It's shadows and mirrors, my friend. He actually does manage to blink through. Run! Oh, a pickup here. I don't know that he's going to see that. He may end up actually going through the Stalkers, though.
I like the idea, though, right? You got to make a big move.
Right.
Big games require big moves.
5.
Oh, that's not going to work.
There's too much down here.
Yeah, this is going to buy enough time.
Completely manageable here by the Protoss. I think ByuN is almost out of options. He's actually feeding into the Protoss here. Damn.
But what else are you supposed to do? How else are you going to win this game if you're not taking those shots?
Well, that's right. You got to take risks. You can't be conservative and expect to come back here. But it just does seem like this is a game where, you know, ByuN is really running out of options. It seems like he's painted himself into a corner. The aggressive play, you know, when it works, you win. But if you don't, then you're further and further behind. And here's that push I was saying was eventually going to come here. There's not enough to, I think, counterattack effectively here for Terran. Although we see him trying to do that. We'll find out if there's actually anything up here.
Well, if it's scary, he can always recall as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's a lot of Zealots coming down here.
Well, this will slow it at least.
Yeah, I think what he can do is pick off the third base. I mean, the Protoss can pick off the Terran's third base here. Ooh, he's kind of all over the place here. And then if he picks that off, he can then recall back here.
ByuN actually, he traded well against the Zealots with those mines and some fancy Marauder micro. Taking out the Dark Shrine definitely has been giving him headaches, but how do you remove this army?
Well, that's the problem. I think Protoss can actually push up into the main. Protoss can also keep just warping in. He's got the gateways.
Now, 4 Colossi here. Oh, man. You can't kill that. Not with the type of army ByuN has. ByuN's army has to run around, whittle things down. Heads up against this, zero chance.
No, I think even with bad positioning and targeting a building there, it does seem like he's just got enough. It doesn't really matter.
But his counterattack, I mean, we're almost in like a minor base trade here.
Well, I feel like I'm not seeing where the rest of Protoss's anything is. I mean,
Protoss's army supply is much lower than ByuN's.
Yeah.
Maybe ByuN, in this strange base trade, can do it.
Nah, I think he's got this, man. Again, ByuN has to go back to trying to mine minerals again. Protoss at least has the army. Oh, damn.
Well. And he has like 2 probes at the 4th base, right? He needs to move these 4.
These are all out of range.
Come on, ByuN. ByuN. Oh, no, he's got a lot there now.
Terran's going to try to push. I guess you have to keep the pressure off of you, and the only way to do that is to try to attack them over and over again.
Yeah, he has to attack. He's got like 2 command centers and not many workers. Was that
those hallucinated probes? Yeah, I was. You know, we don't get to cast everything, but I think now we have.
All right, well, here comes ByuN. It's a scary army. Oh my God! The overcharge is healing up that very damaged Colossus. He sacked a lot of units trying to get it.
Yeah, and just obliterating anything it touches. This army is something I'm just not sure that ByuN can really find a solution for.
Yeah, he can't really fight it right now. He has to go around.
He is mining from that 3rd base location. The natural was never reclaimed. That being said, SOS is not completely comfortable here. A lot of his infrastructure was destroyed. He does have 2 mining bases here in the top left.
He's got a better economy and a bigger army. Before, at least, he had a much smaller army, but at this point, he's remade a lot of the units. He's on 3-2 upgrades against 2-1. ByuN he needs to make a miracle happen.
Right. So, I mean, SOS has the right idea in that he's in a spot where he can win. He just has to make sure that he's not going to, like, walk across the map with his entire army, and then Terran counterattacks again, and ByuN claws his way back into this game.
Yeah. I like that he's trying a little counterattack here. This is really smart. The production of ByuN is not super hot right now.
Right. Every SCV that's killed is just huge. Okay, now he's going to come in with a push.
Yeah. Okay, so this is ByuN's only chance, really. SOS, yeah, he's going to get in and target this. And, yeah, with the recall.
Yeah, that's
it,
all he has to do. I think he just looks at where the Terran attacks next. He recalls back there. So it should be over at this Nexus here. And again, I think he basically can't win from here. ByuN cannot. GG. Great series.
Yeah.
Very dramatic, very back and forth. Cool to see SOS winning.
Yeah, SOS takes it down and goes to the round of 8, so that's really cool. Sad to see ByuN go out in the round of 16 both times. I don't think this time you can really chalk it up to wrists like last time it was very obviously the case. Unfortunately, I think he just kind of got outdone by SOS here.
Yeah.
It's a very volatile series.
All right, well, we're going to have an interview now with SOS. It's too bad that ByuN couldn't get further, but what are you going to do, man? So, yeah, we'll have this interview translated for you guys, and we're not done yet. We still have one more best of 5, but first, that interview.
GSL SuperTournament
SOS of Team MV shows his finesse and he defeats ByuN to move on to the round of 8. Congratulations, SOS. Thank you.
네, 세 번째 8강 진출자가 됐습니다.
And you are the 3rd person to move on to the round of 8. How do you feel?
변현우 선수랑 하게 됐는데
Well, I played against
이
ByuN today.
선수가 좀 보기와는 다르게 심리전을 엄청
And you know,
잘하는
ByuN is a
선수라서
master at the
좀
battle of
마음을
wits.
편하게 하고 게임을 했는데
So today I
그래서
tried to play
이겼던 것
comfortably, and I think that's why I won today.
말씀대로 오늘 두 선수의 심리전이 굉장히
That is right. The battle of wits has been fierce today.
첫 세트의
between you guys.
옵사이드에서 딱 상대가 배제했던
The first set.
그 전멸 추적자를 꺼내시더라고요.
You went for the blink
어떤
stalkers.
배경이었는지.
So what was that about? What was the background
한
behind
번도 안
that?
쓰기도 했고
Well,
그리고
blink stalkers is something that I
그
never used.
변현우 선수의 그 찌르기 러시가 너무 무섭더라고요.
And ByuN's pokes were so scary.
그것까지 생각해서
So then I had to
그때
take
했던
that
것 같아요.
into account.
그런데
That's why I used
변현우
blink stalkers.
선수를 이겼잖아요.
Well, you beat
사실
ByuN today.
계속 상대 전적이 벌어지고 있었고
And your head-to-head
또
record was, just
2016년
widening
결승 패배
by
이후에는
time.
영원히 복수해야 할 상대가 됐단
And he was an
말이에요.
opponent that you
그런
had to take
상대에게
a regret
이겼을 때
on,
조금 다른
revenge
기분이
on, no
있나요?
matter what.
그런 생각은 딱히 하지 않았고 그래도 저는 잃을 게 없었기 때문에
Well, I'm a person who has
조금
nothing to
마음
lose,
편하게 상대
so
빌드 보고
I tried to play comfortably today.
유동적으로 맞춰
I
나가야
analyzed the
되는데
opponent's
그래서
data,
겨우
and I
이길 수
tried to play
있었던 것 같아요.
flexible as well.
사실 작년 GSL 시즌 1, 2, 3
And
24강의
last year,
성적을 감안했을 때
Season 1, Season 2, Season
작년
3.
시즌 2 슈퍼 토너먼트와 현재 이 시즌 1 성적이 많이 그래도 폼이 올라왔구나.
And you know, last year's GSL season, SuperTournament Season 2, and this year's Super Tournament, it feels like your form is getting better.
제 기준에서는
So what do you think?
연습 때는 작년이랑 똑같은 것 같은데
By my standard, I think the practice load is pretty much the
작년에
same as
성적이
last year.
워낙 안 나오다 보니까
But last year my
아직도
records
좀
weren't good.
만족스럽지 못하고
So you know, it wasn't satisfactory at all.
잘하고 싶어요.
I just want to be
잘 하고
better.
싶다. 오늘도
as time goes.
약간 조금씩 조금 아쉬운 부분들이 있었어요.
Yes, I mean there was some disappointing moments in today's
왜
match too.
심리전이나 빌드 다 너무 좋았는데
You know, the battle which was good, your build infrastructure was good,
허무하게 뚫리기도 했었잖아요.
but it felt like
그때 뭐 사도를
you know, your base was
않았으면
getting infiltrated too easily
이런 생각,
at times.
어떤 생각하셨나요?
So what went through your mind during the
사도를
series?
안 빼게 되면 상대방이 마인드랍을 했을 경우에
If I don't pull out the
그냥 알아도
adapts,
조금 잡을 병력이 없어서
when the opponent goes from Widow Mind Drop, I have no means of
저는 그
eradicating it.
러시를 일부러 분광기로 볼 수 있을 줄 알았는데 안 보이더라고요.
So I
그래서
tried to observe that with my warp prism, but I
아쉽다고
couldn't do that. So
인정했습니다.
that's when I thought I would
또
lose.
그런 배경이 있었네요. 자, 다음 상대 이야기도 해보겠습니다.
Okay, let's talk about your
다음
next
8강
opponent.
상대는
Your
박수호
roundabout
선수
next
그리고
opponent will be
조중혁 선수
either
이두
DRG
선수 사이에
or Dream.
결정됩니다. 어떤 상대가 좀 더
So which opponent
나을까요?
might be easier for you?
두 선수 다 작년에 저보다 잘했던
Well, those two
선수이기
players have
때문에
been better at me
아무나
last year
올라와서 그냥 제가
in terms of
잃을
performance.
게 없단 마인드로
So
이번에
you know,
좀
my
게임하고
my
싶어요.
mindset is that
김유지 선수
I don't care who
왜
makes
이렇게
it to the round of eight.
됐어요?
이렇게 하면 이길 수 있을 것 같아가지고요.
네.
I think this is gonna boost my
약한
confidence.
모습은
That's why I
딱
said that.
오늘까지만 보고 싶습니다. 다음 모습 기대를 해보면서
Okay, we'll
마지막 한
continue
말씀
to cheer for you.
들어보겠습니다.
SOS. Anything you want to say
금요일 날
before you go?
뵙겠습니다.
I'll see you next. I'll see you on
다시
Friday.
한번 축하드립니다.
Alright, once again, congratulations. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 세 번째 진출자
All right, that
김유진
does it for the
선수
interview.
만나봤고요. 계속해서
Very cool to see SOS advancing. I feel for ByuN. Something about him. Like I'm always rooting for him.
Yeah, everyone's
You know what I
always
mean?
rooting
He's such a good protagonist. Anyways, guys, short break. When we come back, our final best of 5, DRG versus Dream.